A very good morning to you and the listeners of Hope FM.
It's so great to have you. Let me just welcome you to 103 Hope FM Connecting Communities. And thank you so much for joining us. I know your schedule is you are a very busy woman, but thank you so much, for agreeing to have this interview with us.
It's an absolute pleasure and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Let's start with Keleto. Just tell us, who is Keleto?
Well, after you've read that bio, I was like, yo, who bio is this? It's so humbling sometimes when you listen to your bio being read out. You are like, yo, is this me? But yeah, I think that summarized it beautifully. I'm a mentor. I believe in empowering other people. I believe in lifting as we rise. I'm a speaker as well. And my main message really is that you cannot live a victorious life if you do not know who you are and if you do not know why you were created, what is your purpose. So for me, the main thing in life is you must know who you are and whose you are and why you are. And that's really where living a successful life starts. So through my writing, through my speaking, through my ministry, through my mentoring, that is really the message of my life that I speak about. I'm also particularly passionate about the empowerment and the development of women, and that is what inspired me to start the Sister K Foundation. And there is really about inspiring and equipping women. Also, same message. What is your true identity? And please do live a purposeful life. So if I can introduce myself in short, that is what I would say. You listen to my profile. I was born in Kwakwa, lived my high school years in Bethlehem, and now I'm currently based in Cape Town. So I'm a real South African. I think I've lived in like 4 provinces now. So yes, that's me in short.
Beautiful indeed, Keleto. Going through your bio, I've just picked up one thing. You are a woman and you wear so many hats. You are successfully, so you, in terms of career-wise, you are a mother, you are a pastor, you are a wife, you are an author. How do you juggle all of that?
Well, I think it's, when you live purposefully, although you're doing all these roles, but when you understand the why, you are also able to prioritize. So what's important there really is prioritizing and making sure that you give your attention to what you need to give your attention to. And the reality of the situation also is that you are not all of these things in all the time. So when you are at home, you are mother and you are wife and you wear a different hat. And my thing there is, in whichever time and in whichever role you are playing, show up and do your best. When I leave home and I'm at church, then I'm also a pastor. So the reality is we have 24 hours in a day. It's really all about utilizing it to the best of our ability, driven by purpose. So in all of those things, you will not find me idling or engaging in things that are really time wasters, because that's one of the things in life. If you are not sure what you are about, you end up wasting time on things that you shouldn't be occupying yourself. So the short answer to your question is priorities, and it is purpose. If it's whatever you're doing, if it's driven by purpose, you will be able to juggle everything you do, because you also find commonality in everything that you are doing. My message when I'm pastoring, my message when I'm mentoring, my message when I'm parenting, it's all the same message. So it doesn't feel to me that I'm doing too many different things, because I'm consistent in my messaging and what I'm about in all the hats that I wear.
You truly just an inspiration to a whole lot of us here. Let's talk about your book, right? You've written a book, and also I've read through it, just a summary of it, that the one thing that propelled you in writing your book is the fact that you went through losing a child.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. So I lost my baby. She was stillborn at 39 weeks, and this book is really to honor her memory. But in terms of the timing, this happened in 2018, but I only decided to write about it last year during the lockdown, actually. So when we talk about COVID-19 and its challenges, I always say to people, but hey, there was also opportunities that came by. So I was at home during the lockdown like every other South African and most people in the world. And it was a season that was characterized by loss of life, by loss of loved ones. And as a pastor as well, you get to know a whole lot of people who are losing people on a personal level. So it wasn't just the statistics that we were seeing in the news and reading about in social media, but it was people that you know that are being affected by the pain of their loss, of loss from their loved ones. So I decided then, oh my word, I can only counsel and speak to so many people at a time. And this is something that is affecting a whole lot of people. And I thought the best way would be to put pen to paper and write down about my experience of loss and how I overcame the complex process of grieving, and how indeed it gave me a new perspective on pain. I mean, if you just by looking at the title of the book, I never saw her eyes. Yes, it's referring to my daughter, but gaining from the pain of loss is the message of saying there's a positive perspective in which we need to look at pain. It brings it brings grief, it means mourning, it brings sadness and depression, but also there is a positivity that we can choose to look at in order to be successful and to come out better from the process of grieving and healing from the pain of loss. So it was really to help my nation and to help my people, because it is something that people are dealing with right now.
Okay, Lerato here. Just a quick question, because I love how I've just read with your profile. In most cases, as a woman, when you lose a child and you go through the grief and the pain and so forth, we forget about the men. But in your book, you've mentioned there's a portion that you bring in the perspective of your husband, because you both had to go through this. How was that for him, and what actually led you to decide, I want my husband's perspective on this as well, just so that it's not a one-sided angle, if I can call it that?
Yeah, I think this is such an important topic that doesn't get enough attention, according to me. My baby was as much a part of me as she was her dad. If it wasn't for my husband, we wouldn't be talking about a Nombuso Bokanyende. That was her name, by the way. So, having gone through the process of grief with my husband, having seen the kind of support and the kind of attention I received, and the kind of support and the kind of attention which he received, we saw that, there is really a need for people to be conscientized that the loss of a baby and the challenges of fertility, it's not a woman issue, it's a couple issue, because it affects the both of us. So having his point of view in the book was my way of saying this story is not complete without him. because he's as much a part of the story as I am. And so we dedicated a complete chapter to men in the book. And in that book, in that chapter, I interviewed my husband, and it was also through various chats that we've had about his experience, so that he tells the story from a man's perspective and also tells the men, as a man, it is okay to grieve, it's okay to cry, it's okay to express your emotions. And as a people, to say, do not tell men to be strong. I mean, a father that has just lost a baby is allowed to be weak. Do not tell them not to cry. They have as much right to cry as anyone else, because their grief is also valid. So that was really that, to say the story is not complete without the father in it as well.
Wow, what a different angle that you've taken it from, because in many a times, unfortunately, we leave the men behind, and like you're saying, it's always that case of Mocoancoeng ha ali he, mtate ki nku he, and all these things. More interestingly though, you're going to be launching the book soon. I'd like to know whether if it's going to be available on digital platforms, or how are you going to be going about this? I mean, you said that you decided to put pen and paper in lockdown, and I think we've also realized that with COVID we've had to digitize so many things. So that's just what I want to know. The book, is it going to be available on digital platforms, or how are we going to be able to get it from all the different angles of South Africa and the world?
Yeah. So the book launch will be a physical event. And you mentioning digital, so I will have to look at maybe streaming it live on my Facebook page or something like that. But I will give more details on that. But the book, from about June, it will be available from Amazon, and it will be also available on the Take a Lot platform. But in the meantime, the book is available directly from myself. I don't know if now is the time for me to give out my social media handles and that, because all the details about how one can pre-order the book is available there. So
yes, we can also announce that while you're at it.
Yes, okay, thanks. So on Facebook, I'm Lerato. I also have a page for the Sister K Foundation, and it's Sister K Foundation. And I'm also on Instagram, Sister K _ foundation. So people can get a hold of me via Facebook, Instagram, or email, sisterkyende@gmail.com. So to get the books directly from me. Until May, I've got a limited number of books that I will be signing personally with a personalized message. So that's only the books that will be ordered from myself directly. Once the book is on Amazon and Take a Lot, there won't be an opportunity to put that personal touch. So I really encourage you to pre-order now directly from myself before it goes viral.
The book launch, when and where is it happening?
The details are yet still to be confirmed, but it will be on in May, and the details will be on my social media platforms. So do follow Sister K Foundation, Lerato, and the Facebook and Instagram for all the details.
Lerato, just to wrap up this interview, what is your message, rather, to those women who have lost their kids, because, a majority of them, they don't know how to deal with it, or rather how to deal with the pain, but you went through the process. What is your message to all of them?
The greatest thing, apart from my faith, that was challenged when I went through the difficulty that I did. And I mean, it was not just loss of my one baby. You can get my books to get more details on just the challenges overall that I've had with infertility. The greatest thing that was challenged was my self-confidence as a woman. To say, Lerato, you are failing at what seems to come so naturally for most women, what women should be doing easily. Are you still a woman even though you are having fertility challenges? And through the process of rediscovering myself, you see, I'm going back to my life message now. I found healing and hope in rediscovering who I am. And that was to say, do not define yourself by your accomplishments, your successes, or even your failures. Those things are not who you are. They might be your experiences, but they are not who you are. You should place your value in who God created you to be and the purpose that He created you for. And purpose also speaks to there is more to you than just being a child bearer, you know. So focus on just being the best version of yourself. Keep hoping and believing that God will come through, but realize this is but a portion of your life, but not who you are, and it's definitely not that you are worthless. You were full of worth before you even found out that you have fertility challenges, and you are still worthy even when you are going through the struggle.
Thank you so much, my dear. What an insightful interview, and I really just enjoy, I think the topic more than anything, just to empower other people and to just make them aware that, you know what, you're not alone in this journey. There's so many people who've gone through the challenges of losing a child, and thereafter it has just been down south, especially in terms of emotions and, as you just said, self-confidence. So many things that one deals with, especially with the grief of a child. You know, I always say to people, there's a title for a husband who's lost a wife and a wife who's lost a husband, but there isn't a title for a parent who's lost a child. And for that, thank you so much for writing this beautiful book. We do look forward to reading it ourselves and making sure that we share that message with the rest of our listeners out there. And with the book launch and everything that's going to be happening, we wish you nothing but the best of luck, and do enjoy the Cape. And yeah, when you do make some time to pop into Gauteng, please make sure you get in touch with us here at 103 Hope FM.
I will definitely do that. Thank you for the opportunity, and I hope that everybody who hears my story and reads the book will really go through and receive their healing and have hope instilled within them.
Thank you so much, Miraka. Have yourself a lovely day.
Thank you so much, and thanks for all the listeners for tuning in as well.
Thank
you.
Lerato.
103